Hey Husker Nation, Coach Jaylen Reyes, Assistant Women's Volleyball Coach here to give us a little film breakdown on our big win this past Tuesday at Stanford. So we'll talk about this first play. We're receiving on that far side, and we're in what we call rotation 3, where our setter's left back. And it's going to be a medium system pass. So when I say medium system, how Bergen Riley, our setter, had to come off the net to receive this pass. Okay, typically when you come off the net, setters, most of the time, they don't run their middle blocker. Usually this pass either goes out here or out here to Lindsay Krause. Okay, so we've been training the last couple of weeks working on making sure we can still attack this gap even when the ball is passed off the net. Because typically when it's passed off the net, the blockers tend to be leaning out toward their pin, just like Stanford's blockers are reacting this way. Okay, so Bergen comes off the net, makes a really nice set in here to Andy Jackson, and she's able to kill a ball in that seam that's created, and I'll kind of let it play in full here. Okay, so ball's passed about 7 or 8 feet off the net. Andy does a nice job of getting up and attacking that gap in between the Stanford blockers. Okay, our next play, okay, we're in rotation 2 here. So the setter's middle back. Okay, we have Becca Alec, Mara Beeson, and Lindsay Krause out there on the left. Okay, so this is going to be a good pass. Okay, we've been working on all 3 of our attackers, working on our slow to fast and making sure they're standing up and walking it in posture right when they're at the top of their route. So even though they're going to be at different tempos, Becca, Lindsay, and Merritt are doing a pretty good job of being tall and upright and not kind of hunched over in that like running position, because we want them to start their approaches nice and slow. Bergen does a nice job of getting underneath the ball. We've talked about Bergen's posture. So most elite setters, they're gonna look like this, where they're kind of underneath the ball, nice and straight, just like she is. Maybe some younger setters are gonna be out here and they set the ball this way, or they're gonna be back this way. When they're setting a back set. So Bergen does a really nice job of being neutral. And by doing that, right now, we don't necessarily know where she's gonna set the ball. She's gonna end up making a nice back set out to Mara Beeson. And because of that posture, it creates this seam in the block here. Okay, so Samantha Francis, number 17, is just a little bit late just because of the perfect pass and the pace and Bergen's posture. Okay, this next clip, okay, we're gonna be focused here on Andy Jackson, okay? Right here, standing in the middle, freshman middle blocker. Okay, with our middles, we're worried about their eye work when we're blocking, okay? And the key for us is we wanna try to get Andy's eyes off the pass or the ball once she knows 100% it's not gonna be passed over the net. So this ball is not gonna be passed over the net, and what we want her to focus on is we wanna get her eyes as quickly as we can on All-American setter Cami Minor here for Stanford, okay? So this ball is gonna be a good pass. It's gonna be nice and high. And we want Andy, okay, she's looking up at the pass, and once she knows it's not coming over the net, we want her to start looking at Cami Minor. So this ball is still out of your screen, but by now, Andy Jackson is doing a really good job of getting her face and her eyes on the setter. The setter is the next person that's gonna play the ball, so it's really important that we get to see kind of what she's about to do. Okay, most people are going to have their eyes up here on the ball still. All 3 of our blockers are doing a pretty good job of getting their eyes on Cami, including Bergen Riley, because she's going to dump this ball and Bergen's in the right spot to make a play on it. Okay, now we're in transition, so Mara Beeson does a nice job out here of transitioning and getting off the net. Okay, and we talk about we want to tip the ball. We want to make sure we throw it in places, what we call the donut, which is going to be right in here. And when you tip balls in here, when you throw it away from people, you make people kind of communicate sometimes, and you tip it in between people. And sometimes you might get some cheap kills just because we threw the ball in there. So if we rewind it back, okay, a short serve. Andy Jackson gets her eyes on the setter. Bergen with a nice dig. Merritt with some good transition. Good set by Lexi. And a tip into the donut in between 2 Stanford players. And we get a cheap kill out of it. A big theme for for us in this match was how we were going to defend this player right here. All-American opposite, Kendall Kipp. If she's not the best, one of the best opposites, she might be the best opposite in the country. And we came in just going, she's going to do some amazing things, but we're going to try to get as many bodies as we possibly can in front of her just to make the match for her as difficult as we can. And she still killed a bunch of balls. But we're trying to get as many people as we can. So first of all, tactically, we're going to serve short to try to take away their middle blocker. Sam Francis makes a nice pass here. Okay, but the rest of the play now is up to Lindsay Krause. Now she has to decide, can the middle blocker get out here based on the pass? And if not, maybe she can get back in here and help, because Kipp is going to be on a big set coming right down the middle of the court. So Lindsay's out here making a read based on what the pass is doing and if the middle is going to be able to get around here. Because the pass comes off the net, Lindsay feels like, okay, it's going to be a little bit harder for their middle to get all the way around the setter. So she does a great job of staying inside here and providing some help. Again, we're trying to get as many bodies in front of this player as possible because she's really, really good. Okay, attackers don't really like it when there's a lot of blockers in front of them. Okay, so if I let it roll here, we do a nice job, and because of all the bodies we have, we create a tip situation where Bergen Riley reads it, makes a nice play on it. Again, Lexi Rodriguez comes in to set that second ball after the setter digs it. She sets it out to Lindsay Krause, and she kills it cross court. So just again, if I play it in full, Lindsay does a really good job determining, can Samantha Francis get all the way around? No. Let's get 3 people up on the big to get as many bodies in front of Kendall Kipp as possible. And a nice kill by Lindsay. So really, really good play by Lindsay Krause out there on the left. Thanks, Husker Nation. That's our film breakdown for our game against Stanford. We're 8-0 right now, but we got so many things to improve on, but we really love going to work every day with this group. We got a big one this weekend, this Sunday against Kentucky. Hope to see you there.